Welcome to TradeRep. This is Short Hammer. It is the 16th of October, 2019, and we're looking at Tesla. Now, this is a 4-hour chart for Tesla, and Tesla usually is a good trader from zone to zone, but you have to really watch some of the midpoints where you will hit those midpoints and you can retrace. Like you'll see here, we bought back above this zone, which usually means we get long, with our stop being the bottom of the zone. And Tesla took off to the upside, even feathered this zone here, a light feathering, I'll say. But what you run into is that it can easily retrace back down to the previous levels. And even though it tapped and it never would have really stopped us out, it would have freaked us out, but it wouldn't have stopped us out. The best thing is once it taps the next zone, if you don't see follow through, you exit. So right now on Tesla, what we're watching for here on the 4-hour, since we held the 227 by 224, and we're now above the 248 by 252, 74 supply demand zone. Watch for this retrace to this 252 area and see if buyers step in. I believe they will. So we'll see. Tesla is really running up towards earnings. We'll see if more news comes out. But also keep in mind that the overall market is sort of being directed by earnings right now. So keeping an eye on the earnings and the trends of the day, I would tend to look for a ticker that's following whatever the trend of the day is. If the trend is up, follow that. If the trend is range bound, then find something that's at the upper end of the range, and you can wait the first 30 minutes or hour for that range to develop. And then you can trade, you can fade the tops and buy the bottoms, keeping it tight until that pattern goes away. So what I'll be watching for today on Tesla is a pullback to the 252s, maybe 252.74s. And I don't automatically buy because it pulls back to the zone. What I want to watch for is what's the reaction of the buyers. Let's go to the lower time frame here. See, I think I have a 5-minute chart. Where are you? 5 minutes. Okay. So Tesla yesterday on the 5-minute chart, you see we had a pullback. And my entry, this is what's so funny. I removed it now, but I had an alert set right around 253.80-ish because I wanted to get a pullback through the main intraday pivot, a push through my 200 SMA on the 5-minute, this orange line here. And my expectation was the alert went off here, if I got in, even if we went as low as the 252.74, my expectation would still have been a retrace to at least the main intraday pivot. And my alert never went off. We did not quite get that low. And I actually missed it by about 34 cents, like 34.40 cents is what I missed this by. And the opportunity cost, look at this push up. So I should have been watching it. I wasn't. Just set a little alert on it, and it just never went off. But today we see that we are curving over. So what I'm going to watch is if we're below this blue line, which is the monthly pivot, if we retrace back to these lower 254 levels, do buyers step in again? 1, 2, do we retrace to the supply demand zone? If we do buyers step in? And trading this here is technically a risky entry, but it's the type of entry that I like, just based on the setup and based on the trend of the day, how we were moving pre-market, and also based on we're running into earnings. And what I was thinking was like, hey, even if I'm wrong on this, I'll at least exit break even on the pullback and the reprice. But the safer entry actually is to let this all happen and wait for the buyers to step in. You don't get as much upside, of course, but you wait for the buyers to step in. And once you would break this level, this sort of you start making higher highs, then you start looking for some upward movement. And the upward movement would really have been a push through the monthly pivot here at 250. What's this? 256.79. So a push through here, another push through. We're looking bullish, higher lows, higher highs, and a pullback above and hold would have been your entry. And you ride it. For me personally, I ride it to the high of the pre-market levels, and I look to exit. Like I would either exit here at 258.30, or here as we enter into these two or upper 258s to 259. So here I'd have been scaling out or exiting altogether, just because my expectation is that at those levels, buyers would be looking, or sellers would be looking to get off, to sort of alleviate some of that risk. And even the previous day's highs at this 258.50, 54 level would also be a level I'll be watching to scale out. But today we're below this yellow dash line, which is the main intraday pivot. So let's see if we can push back above and hold the 256.82, which is the monthly pivot. We saw on the back test here after this breakout that we held the weekly pivot, this gray dash line here. But today we're kind of hanging around it. Maybe we get a pullback and a buyback up. But we have our levels that we want to watch. Watch what happens around these pivots. Watch what happens if we pull back down to the levels that we dip bought yesterday, the 254.12. And technically you could, if you wanted to, draw a line here, right? Because that was a level, roughly a level yesterday, and see what happens there. You have a line here, line here. I will draw a line here and here. I'll watch those levels. And let's see. This is interesting, but not overly interesting. It's enough wiggle room in there. I will draw a line here. Nah, I'll just use the main intraday. I don't need one there. That's one too many lines. And so I'll see. I'll probably draw a few more lines based on the pre-market movements, but these are some of the lines that I'll be watching along with the pivots going into today, the levels that to me will be important. So that's what I think about Tesla, and I'll keep an eye on her today and set some tighter alerts, maybe a little bit above the levels that I wish to enter. Setting my alert down here was slightly lazy. It should have been a little bit higher, should have been above the actual main intraday. So I could have had my eyes on it on this push down and the approach to the level that I wanted to get in. It at least, and this is on a 5-minute chart. If I was looking at a 1-minute chart, it probably would have given me the opportunity to get in a little early and ride this back up. So a lot of times, even the pulse and the impulse, like when you see a strong move down, it usually will give you a slight retrace. So even on the impulse, if it went to here and then sold off again, that still would have been a couple of dollars that I could have taken out of this just on a push down into demand, and a pull back would have given me a little bit of green there. So if you just wanted to take a scalp play, but neither here nor there, keeping an eye on Amazon and see if today will be an uptrending or downtrending day. And if there is no individual news on Tesla, then you will see, I say keep an eye on Amazon, on Tesla, I mean, then you will see if this continually moves with the market to the downside. A lot of tickers moved with the market to the upside yesterday because we were trending up. So if we're trending up today, or if we're going sideways, just be careful jumping in and expecting continuation. Look for overall market continuation. Look at the indexes. Make sure things are moving up. Make sure people are buying. Whatever you traded yesterday, there may be some retracement in that today. So just watch your levels from yesterday and pre-market and see what the buyers and sellers are telling you. And from that information, decide if you want to take something long or if you want to look to fade it.